Hello, this is Mr. Huff, and today we're going to take a look at making our first part in OnShape. I noticed a lot of you were having trouble getting started, so let's go through the basics. So we're going to make this object, and I'm looking at it, and I think that the easiest way to do this is going to be to make a prism here and do some subtractive modeling, and then add this little rectangular prism with additive modeling. I think that's going to be the most efficient. So I go over to OnShape. I'm going to start a new part studio. We're going to hit plus at the bottom and choose Create Part Studio. And it's going to start that. We're going to go ahead and rename this the assignment requirement. So 4.2, this is part 1. So I did that by right-clicking on the name next to it. First thing we have to do is start a sketch. If you go look at this, it is 4 inches long and it's 2.5 inches tall. So that's our width and our height. So we'll go back to OnShape. We're going to click on Sketch, choose a plane. Let's use the front sketch or front plane, and then we're going to press N to make it normal, and P to make the plane disappear. So P, you can toggle the planes off and on. I like to turn them off so it's easier to see what you're doing. At this point, I'm going to choose the corner rectangle. If you float over this, each little button, it'll pop up and give you some instructions about how to use it. But we're just going to click on that, and we're going to click on the origin, and I'm going to drag it over here and click somewhere. Notice it has a couple of little things right here. It's got this little box that says 3.87 and 3.91. So I'm going to point at 3.97, and I'm going to type the number 4 and press enter. And then it toggles to the other box, and I'm going to put 2.5 and press enter. And what that does is it establishes some dimensions for us. If you don't do that, you can go in and press the dimension key here, which is the shortcut key is D, and you can click on the edge and drag it out, and I'll do some of those as well. It's just more convenient to do that when you're drawing the rectangle, so you just put the number in, hit enter, and it'll take you to the other dimension and put that number in and hit enter, and it will make that a fully constrained rectangle. Okay, so we look at this. I'm going to finish my sketch. That looks great. One of the things I want to point out, if you press Shift and question mark, it will pull up this keyboard shortcut list, and these shortcuts will make your life much more pleasant if you can use some of these. The one I'm interested in right now is this isometric view. So this lets me switch to a different view. So the one we used before was normal. We're also going to use isometric. So I'll show you the difference, what those do. We're going to close that. So I'm going to hit Shift 7, and that takes me to isometric, and then we're going to hit N for normal. I don't have a plane, so I'm going to do Shift 1 for front. So this is a front view. Shift 7 is the isometric view. Okay, I like to do extrusions in isometric so I can see what's going on. Now we're going to click on Extrude, which is also Shift E. Click on Extrude, and we're going to click on the face we want to extrude. And we see that it's in inches. Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell you something. 2.5 is the depth we want. I'm going to hit Finish Sketch. One of the things you'll need to make sure of is what your dimensions are. You'll notice that it's including a dimension with it every time you make a box. If it's coming up as millimeters and you need to be in inches, you need to click on the ladder menu here, the document menu, and choose Workspace Units, and change it from inches to millimeters or millimeters to inches. We're in good shape right now. Hit the check mark. I'm going to hit Shift 7 and make that an isometric view again. And then we look at this, and what we have to do is we have to remove a 1-inch square in this corner, a 1-inch square in this corner, and a 1/2 inch by 3-inch square here that is 1/2 inch from the corner here and here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to draw a sketch on this face. So we're going to hit Sketch, click this face, hit N to make it normal to that face. Choose the 2-point rectangle select the corner, drag it down, click, and we're going to put 1, enter, and 1 and enter. And what that does is it makes it goes ahead and that's the one I wanted to escape, Control Z. So I'm going to hit escape a couple of times, and we're going to see if we can relocate this measurement. So what it did is it made a 1 inch by 1 inch square. Now we're going to do that again over here in the other corner. So we're going to drag a rectangle here. I'm just clicking anywhere, and we're going to hit 1, enter, 1, enter, and it makes another 1 inch square. I'm going to hit escape a couple of times to get out of the tool, and we're going to drag those out a little bit so our drawing is a little bit cleaner. Okay, across the bottom, what I'm going to do is line up on this bottom line, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle. I don't really care what size, and we're going to say it's 3 inches, enter, by 0.5 inches. And now we're going to use the dimension button. Okay, right here it's the dimension. And what we want to do is establish a distance between this line and this line. And we're going to draw that down and change it to 0.5 inches. And if you look what that did, we have 0.5 inches here. It's 3 inches by a ½ inch, and that automatically makes another ½ inch gap over here. We look at our drawing, everything's good. And I'm going to go back to Shift and 7 to put it back in isometric view. I'm going to pause right here and change some colors. So what I did is I went to the part that we're working on right now, and I right-clicked on that, and I did Edit Appearance, and I changed it to a much lighter color so that we can see the lines as we're working. I didn't like what it was doing before. So now you can see when I point at this, I have this little face here, and I have these faces here. So we are subtractive modeling, so we're going to take out this corner and this bottom edge. So I'm going to go to Extrude. I'm going to choose this face, and this face, and this face, and I'm going to choose Remove. And right now you can see they're going through 1 inch. I could go in and put 2.5 inches here, but we want to let the computer keep up with it. So we're just going to click, instead of blind, we're going to choose through all. And what it does is it goes completely through the part, and we're going to hit a check, and we're done. So now we see that we're almost done. We have that shape. The only thing left is this little piece at the end. So we're going to go hit Sketch, and I'm going to click on this face. And then I'm going to press N to go normal to that plane. We're going to do a 2-point rectangle here. So if we look at the instructions, it says that that is 1.5 inches wide, it's 0.25 inches thick, it's 0.75 from the top, and ½ inch from this edge. So let's go back over here. So this is 0.25 here, enter, 1.5 here, enter, and now we're going to go in and use the dimension tool, and we're going to connect this and this, click both of those, drag to the right or to the left, 0.75, enter, and then we also need to go from this edge to this edge, trying to get the edge, there we go, get the edge, 0.5, enter. It's real important that you make very careful selections when you're doing this. It's real easy to click on midpoints or things that are not what you want to dimension to, so be very, very careful. This is where using your scroll wheel to zoom in will help you see what you're doing with more clarity. Okay, we've got our little object there. I'm going to hit Finish and Shift 7 so you can see the isometric view. We're going to hit Extrude, and then we're going to click on that single face, and it's at 1 inch right now. It needs to be 0.75, and enter, and we're adding, so now we have it. I'm going to finish that. And so there's the first part. So we went through and did some subtractive modeling and some additive modeling, and now we have this wonderful part that we can look at in all kinds of directions here. Okay? And that's how you do the first one.